No, your eyes do not deceive you. I am stood in front of not one, but two Foo Fighters pinball machines. I've had to rearrange the man cave. There's so much Foo Fighter pinball machine going on in this man cave. I've had to rearrange it. First of all, I've got to thank Phil from Pinball Heaven for supplying me with the additional, well, they supplied me with both of them, but for supplying me with the additional pinball machine. It was Phil's idea. Phil said, how about a comparison video with the Premium and the Pro? Of course, I wasn't going to say no, was I? And I'm really, really glad that I haven't. Now, for clarity, I've not played a single game on this yet, which is why you'll see that I haven't even updated the code. If you can see the screen from where you are, if it's in focus, there's all the original scores on there, which you see this flavour here, the Pro variety I've probably had for about a month now, and there's obviously score, not particularly impressive scores, but there are scores, and my name is festooned across this wonderful LCD screen there. The idea of this video is we're going to compare the two machines, but I thought it might be a good staging post to maybe let you know a few of my thoughts, having owned this game for a month now. Now, if you go and check out a Pinball Heaven's YouTube channel, after I've understood this game in more detail, I'll do a more in-depth comparison. So this is very much going to be my first impressions in the difference between the Pro and the Premium. What we'll do is I'll just have a little chat now, then we'll take the camera off of its perch there. We'll have a look at the differences between the two cabinet artworks, and then we'll have a look on the playfield. There's a couple of things that are really evident straight away. Just before I go into the comparison, this game's been a funny one for me. I originally really liked it. My first impressions were good because the ball was taking all of these weird paths across the playfield. I think then I struggled with it a little bit. It's a very, very fast game, and I struggled to make some of the shots. I was finding it hard to sort of dial in some of the ramps. I found the flipper coils a little bit underpowered, and they are a little bit underpowered, and Stern will know this because they have the flipper power, which you can adjust in the software, set to maximum. I've been lucky enough to have a few Spike 2 games, and normally there's a little bit of leeway, there's a bit of variation. You can either increase the power or decrease the power. On Godzilla, for instance, I was able to increase it by 30 increments. This, straight out the box, is as powerful in terms of software as you can possibly make the flippers. So I thought they were a little bit underpowered. In many respects, I still do. But the more practice I've got at the game, the better I've got at sort of nailing the ramps. So then I perhaps had a little dip with it. And then certainly in the last week, I've really started to play the game a lot more, started to get some slightly better scores, get better progress in the game. And I'm really starting to enjoy it. I think the problem was at the start, even though it was taking wonderful ball paths across the playfield, I never felt I was doing it. It does wonderful things, but I never thought it was as a result of my good shots or anything like that. As I've learnt the game, it really has grown on me. It's probably worth pointing out as well, they are going to look slightly different because this is my game. It's had modifications. I've got my green legs, not my legs, they're not green, not yet anyway. I've got some powder coated legs on there. I've not done the whole powder coating yet because I didn't want to powder coat it and airbrush it until I decided that I was going to keep the game in long term, that is. For instance, Deadpool, I know I'm going to keep it, so it got airbrushed. Batman got airbrushed because I know I'm going to keep it. It's Batman 66, by the way. So there's some wonderful modifications on it from Collie Wobbles, which we'll go over in just a second. You'll see the speaker lights, the Foo Fighters speaker lights. They're from Cole, but they are not standard issue modifications. Far from it. So you'll see there's slight differences from there, but originally this speaker panel looked more like that than this. Overall, in terms of the game, I really like it. I think it's got a good balance of depth. It's not too deep. I'm not going to go over the premise of the game. I'm sure you've done your research by now on it, but I quite like the fact that there are only 6 modes, and then 2 mini wizard modes and one main wizard mode. The sort of depth, I think it's just slightly deeper than Deadpool, and that's about right for me, by the way. And there are certain other things you can do, like pimping up your van and building this. What they call it, a Foo bot, I think. I think it might be right. We'll have a look in a second. haven't got my glasses on at the moment, but I think it says Foobot, which is a feature of the game. There's this section here, which is a bit like Frankenstein's monster, where you've got to put his torso and limbs together. I quite like it. It's quite neat, actually. Particularly, a lot of it gives you bonuses for, it might be a ramp for the remainder of that ball, or you might get a 2 times bonus on a ramp for the rest of the game. It's quite neat. I enjoy it, and I don't feel that the game is so deep that I'll never be able to learn the rule sets. This is certainly not Avengers Infinity Quest, which I know I cross-reference a lot, but I find the rule set so deep on that, it's actually quite prohibitive. So I think, to summarise, I'm really enjoying playing this game now. So what we'll do is we'll take the camera off its perch, we'll look at both of the games. I'm pretty sure at some point that noisy fan's going to kick in. And then what we'll do is maybe we'll play one game on each so as you can see the difference. But absolutely what you'll get is my first impressions of playing the premium. So that's going to be really interesting. I've been quite disciplined, actually. It's been stood here for a day and a half, and I've not played it. I've resisted because I really felt it was important for the authenticity of this video that the first time I played it was on camera. So I've been a very good boy. Anyway, let's get on and show you the differences between the two games. So let's take a little look at the differences on these two games. We'll deal with the cabinet first, because there's two things that I think are quite evident on this game. First of all, you've got this wonderful artwork, which I believe was done by Zombie Yeti, unless somebody tells me otherwise. There are two main things on it I can see, which is this animated version of the band, which you can see there. And also, you have this Foobot character. Now, the Foobot's just there. As I mentioned earlier, he's referenced on the playfield just here. On the back glass on this game, you have the band in their van. Now, the van obviously features prominently in the rules and the sort of storyline, if you want, of this game. Whereas, if you look on the cabinet of the premium, you have the van. So I would maybe suggest that actually the cabinet artwork on the premium here, I think probably suits this back glass on the Pro better. I mean, what I would say is both machines look great. There just seems to be a little bit of a mix with the artwork here. Whereas if you look, maybe I can show you this side. If you look at the artwork on the side of the back box on the Pro, it's got the Overlord alien on there, which I'm sure you can see there. Whereas on the premium, it very much features this Foobot, the Foo Fighters robot, basically. So I think actually, and let's just look at the two back glasses. It's hard for me to say I prefer one over the other. I think they're both excellent. Both really, really nice. But I think probably, actually maybe I prefer the premium. However, on the back box artwork, on the side of the back box, I think I prefer the Pro. But we're nitpicking really here, aren't we? Let's be honest. I don't think there's a lot in it in terms of the cabinet artwork, if I'm honest. Both feature the band. For some reason, I quite like the band in the van. I think that's pretty cool. The front, what you'll notice is the front of the games, actually, so one of them, so you'll have to excuse me here, I've got a couple of modifications on there. First of all, that's a modification from Collywobbles, as is this plaque. But as you'll notice, there's more blue on this cabinet. Whereas this cabinet here and even the front is more of a red and a yellow theme going on. So I think if you probably were going to have the powder coating on the premium, I think just more yellow and red to pick up on there, isn't there? But again, they both look pretty good. One of the first things you'll probably notice if you're comparing the two is that the Pro has a plastic apron. Now, they've done everything they can to make it not look plastic, but it's plastic. Whereas if we go and look at the Premium, it's metal. And it's sort of, it's got this decal on it, which it just looks better. The whole look is better on this. And also this, introducing the Foobots. They're really going for the Foobot on this game. I apologise if you're watching this and the camera's going all over the place, but as I'm noticing the differences, I'm trying to show them to you. So there's no decal covering all of this. And I think that Foobot looks a bit better. It's also high gloss, that Foobot, whereas this is more of a matte finish. But this is fine. I've got no problem with this. I think it looks cool. What was in there was a horrible Insider Connected sticker. So I actually took that out on this one, and I just put I think it might be the German instruction card on there. I thought the German instruction card looked better than the whole. Basically, it was a QR code on there, I think, which I just think they're unsightly and nasty looking things. So I got rid of that. Right, let's just take a quick look at the initial differences, because there's a very obvious one at the start of the playfield. Now, again, I want to point out that where it says Foo Fighters here, these wonderful plastics, they're from Collywobbles, as are the flipper back covers. They're from Collywobbles as well. There's also, I've got all the plastic protectors on here. So this one is just going to look a little bit more vibrant because the plastic protectors do diffuse the light, just to sort of preempt you and pre-warn you. It's the same over here. I've actually just been arrived today in Area 51 for the back plastic, but I'll put that on at a later date when I'm going to do another video on this game at a later date. So the first thing you'll notice is down here, there's no pop-up post. Whereas if we move over, just down here, just here, you see it? Sorry, my arm's in the way. Little pop-up post, just there. Now, the reason that pop-up post is there, so when you get something called the overdrive, which is just here. So when this light is lit here, the ball will roll down here, and you get that lit by hitting both of these targets. And this will light, the overdrive. And on the Premium, the ball will travel down here. And this post will pop up. But only if you hold the flipper button in. I've got to figure this out, I think. And then you lift this flipper up. And then the ball, not with your hand, obviously, with the flipper button. And then the ball will jump off of here and go up here. It's a ball safe. A pretty neat one. Very, very innovative. Right, let's stay on this machine for a second. What else are we noticing straight away? Well, you've got a van. So that looks pretty cool, that van. Really does. I'm sure it's going to... Well, I can tell it does light up. I've just seen the light. There you go. Whereas on this one here, we have a picture of a van. Which still lights up, funnily enough. It's not adding anything to the game. It just looks better. There's a post, I don't know if you can see it, just under there. That pops up when you start your mode. This is the shot here where you initiate your mode. If that's flashing, you've got a mode ready to go. That's pretty cool. I should probably say I love this shot that goes around here. It's probably the shot I'm least successful at, but I really enjoy it. Now, let's deal with something here. If you look at this area of the game, so you're looking over here. Now we're going to move over to this side. You'll notice something straight away. There is an upper playfield. Now, I think you'll get into that upper playfield via the right ramp. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So, over on the, what will happen is, on the Pro, you'll go up this right ramp and it will go over and it will come back down here because the upper playfield's not there. The first thing I notice about here is I don't think it's going to interrupt the flow. If you don't initiate this flipper paddle, this flipper bat, I think you'll still get the same flow around there. And that sometimes is one of the criticisms of premium games over pro games. And that is that the premium game doesn't have the same flow as the pro. Because they put extra mechanisms in, extra toys, and it just stops the speed of the game. This looks to me, and I've not fired it up yet, as though if you don't want to interrupt the flow of the game, you don't have to on this. So that's going to be really interesting. What have I noticed about this initially there? Looks to be like there's a loop shot, a gate with a spinner on it, and 3 targets. I think that looks cool. I do. As an upper playfield, I think that looks pretty good. The other thing you're going to notice here is this Overlord model. This is just so much better than what is on the Pro, which again is just a plastic cutout of him. You do have a physical ball lock though. Just under there on both games, you'll see there are 2 spikes which are going to pop up right in the middle of the camera underneath the Overlord. You'll see there's 2 bits of metal from 2 holes there right in the middle of the camera as you look at it now. They pop up and they trap the ball. It's a physical ball lock. I think that's really important. I think it was possibly the worst thing on James Bond was on the Pro. There was no physical ball lock, and I think it just. I think it was one scrimp too many from Stern. It has to be said on that. I think it looks cool. Everything else appears to be exactly the same. The cabinet artwork is slightly different on this. I'm just going to look. Is it slightly different? No, it's not. It's exactly the same. Apologies. The cabinet artwork exactly the same on this side as is. Yeah. So they're the same. On both games, the artwork is the same on both sides. Just trying to think if there's anything else I've missed. I think those are the main differences, aren't they, really? So you have the main differences between the Pro and the Premium are the pop-up post here, the van, the actual model of the van rather than the stand-up picture of it, the upper playfield, which is a big difference, let's be fair, and this Overlord. Now, I have noticed that I've been keen not to look at any footage of a Premium. I don't know. What I have noticed is that Overlord, which is this dude here, as I'm sure you know, I've noticed underneath the playfield, because when these things come delivered to you, they're packed with foam, so I always check underneath the playfield just to make sure there's not any cable ties or anything. I did notice there's a mechanism underneath. So I'm wondering if something's going to go on. Something's going to be happening with this dude. I'm looking forward to finding out. So, that wasn't me passing wind, by the way. Hear that? Those are my shoes. Anyway. There it is. Well, there it is. There they are. Don't they look magnificent? Don't they look magnificent together? Honestly, I'm absolutely thrilled with this. I'm like a kid at Christmas. It's magnificent. Hey, what do you think of Collie Wobble's new site? Look at all Collie Wobble's fine stuff. Look at it. Look at all these wonderful signs. This man cave is mostly Collie Wobble's signs now. Someone was asking the other day, by the way, I did notice. Let's go to the top 50. Actually, let's move this over there. There we go. Let's go to the top 50. Someone was asking why Twilight Zone was down the bottom. That's my friend Alan. He's very cheeky. He wrote that on there. He knows my feelings on Twilight Zone, so he put that on there and put it at the top. I've never had Twilight Zone here, so it can't be part of the top 50. Okay? Right, the fan's kicking in there, which I think is probably the signal for me to start playing some games. Thank you to everybody that's stuck with this video so far. I hope you're finding it as interesting as I am, but that's why I wanted to wait to give you my actual real first impressions. This has been sat in here, as I say, for about a day and a half, and I actually had, and I promise you, actually you can actually see I've got one of the covers here. I've actually had a cover on it, a pinball cover, so as I wasn't tempted to look at it. Anyway. let's take a look at the gameplay. We'll do a bit of a teaser. One game on this, and then maybe one game on that. Probably more than one. So we'll have a quick game on this one, just hopefully to show you sort of some of the differences. I love the skill shot on this, which I've not managed to do just then, but if you hit it early enough, you can actually rescue it and hit those targets, and it will register your skill shot. There's a whole risk-reward thing going on in this game, which is, do you want to pimp your van up and risk losing the ball before you start a mode? Now, I've just done that there. The ball's locked in for multi-ball, should I want it. I need to actually start hitting some shots. We'll take whatever. Let's take Chicago. It's not really about the game itself. Oh dear. Oh. I'm actually going to use my free hit there. So I think all I've got to do is hit that Overlord, and I've completed the mode here for this one. Oh no! I literally... It's okay. It's okay. I did complete the mode, and it's given me the ball back. Because I mean, that's it. Because I got to Overlord multi-ball mode then. Got the adder ball. Well, that was a very short-lived multi-ball. So you can see here, I've lit Chicago. I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's not meant to be a tutorial at all. And I wouldn't be the person you want to learn from anyway. I don't understand enough of the game yet. But I say it's not a massively complicated game. I think they've got the difficulty levels pretty damn good, actually. Keep hitting that ramp, you're going to get Area 51 multi-ball. I don't know how many more I've got left. I can't, it's just not good enough to look up at the screen. Oh, that's a shame. See what I also love about this game, the fact that you can store up, by hitting the captive ball, you can store up sort of action buttons. Let's go with Seattle. Oh dear, they are actually. I find those shots quite difficult to hit. The ones on the left there that I'm clearly trying to hit. Oh, I've just hit the power button, the action button at the end. on the top right, it tells you your progress in the modes. Basically, I know I didn't finish that because generally you'll finish a mode by hitting the Overlord shot. So Seattle's still flashing. You can choose your song at the start if you didn't know. He's sort of rummaging through his cassette collection in his car. I guess that's Hand of Dave Grohl. Oh, is it gonna? Of course, it's gonna give me a save. Trying to hit that target. Oh, I was just a little bit too late on that target. You get a certain amount of time before all the targets pop up again. Let's try and get it one more time. Because it really does help if you can. Yeah, I think it's speakers, engine, and bomb. Oh, I've just missed it again. Got it that time. And you can really either. Oh no! I was going to say you can really save yourself time. That was a really good example, actually, of me wasting a ball chasing this stuff rather than actually starting the mode. It's that whole temptation. It's the gamble, isn't it? Oh, it's fraught with danger. Here you go. I mean, I never feel totally in control when it's bouncing between these slings. Oh, nor is any game, I guess. Oh, it's a shame. It's actually started. My first ball on this was decent. Let's just finish off Seattle if we can. So it's actually giving me the finishing shot, which is there. So I've actually finished Seattle. So there's two lit now. Oh, I've actually got just here an extra ball is lit, which I missed. Oh, that's dangerous. Oh, yes, I got the extra ball. That's what I said. So I'm on 2 times playfield bonus now because I hit that orbit. God dear. Oh no! I struggle with that ramp. There's a lot of people say to backhand it. I've got to say, I often try and backhand it, and that happens. Oh, that almost got the wonderful skill shot. Then it's worth 5 million. Okay, this is an interesting little mode. Let's go with New York here. Oh, I need to get that spinner, which is done. Oh dear me. I can't believe I saved that. Let's take that shot out and see what I've got. Again, here you can see the mode. Let's take another one out. I think I've got one more. Depends what the shot is. Still that orbit. We'll take one more out. That's all my shots left. Oh, I didn't actually want that one, but I've got a multi-ball, which may well help. That's Area 51 multi-ball. May well help me finish the mode, actually. That's it. I got the shot then. So if I hit in the Overlord, I should finish this mode. There we go. So I finished that mode. So you can now see New York is solid. if you can, you have the skill to do so. This is probably more than any game that I can think of. I mean, I completely wasted multi-ball then because I wasn't able to trap up. Because of the ball paths, it doesn't lend itself to sort of, you know, all the balls flying around at any given time, all at the same time. I do love that upper flipper. I think it's great. Overlord shot if I can. That's it, game over. Oh no, one more, my words. Okay, I did actually get an extra ball during that. So I'm still going.
Once more, like you mean it.
You do feel like on this game you are constantly recovering. Oh, they're ferocious. I was saying about the slings, absolutely ferocious. Right, there's the first game on there. It's just an enjoyable game, and I did feel, even though I didn't play. Actually, that wasn't. Look, I got a little got my name on the scoreboard. Even though I don't feel like I played particularly well on that one, it's still an enjoyable game. Still keeps you coming back for more. That was the Overdrive Champion, which is the drain shot there, which should be interesting. I'm so used to just letting it happen there and letting it drain. I've got against the habit of when the ball drains down the left of holding the left flipper button down, which is going to be interesting. Right, there you go. So that is the gameplay on the Pro. Let's go and have a little bit of a look at the gameplay on the Premium. I'm actually really excited about this. The code is an older code. We're not here to look at the code. That's not it. It's about the difference in shots. In particular, for me, it's that upper playfield. Feels familiar straight away. Okay, so we're straight into a mode. We'll have a go at Roswell. A new authentic alien location, that is, for those of you that are steeped in UFO folklore. I shouldn't have chosen that. They're quite hard shots to choose straight off the bat. The Roswell ones, because it's no good either shot when you start is no good off the left flipper. Oh, we still haven't seen anything new yet because I haven't hit any of those shots. So we've locked one in the Overlord. Maybe we can have a look at that actually in a minute. We won't go back to Roswell for the reasons that I just said. Okay, that's interesting. So it does actually go all the way round. So you're going to have to hit that. I hit it at that post. You won't have seen that because of the camera angle. So I used the post then. I'm surprised I remembered to do it actually. So I had to hold the left flipper button down. Oh, got a dipstick. I was so pleased with myself for popping the post up. So what happened is that post popped up and it retrieved the ball. That's quite neat. I do wonder if you got into such a habit of doing that, would you forget to save the ball on the left out lane? Maybe it'd teach you a bad habit.
Whoa!
Oh, I missed it again. I was sort of ready for that up in the upper playfield. Oh, okay, it's up on the upper playfield. Oh, okay, it goes back down the ramp as well. That's interesting. I quite like that. That's an awful lot going on then, actually. It definitely feels like there's more going on here. He didn't seem to do, unless I'm missing something, he didn't seem to do very much, the Overlords. Oh dear. Oh, that's ball 3, right, okay. We'll get another game. You can probably see that I was far more comfortable with the pro game than this. There was sort of a lot... Oh, whoops. I'm sorry, that'll get knocked off pretty quickly. There seems to be a lot more going on here that it shouldn't have felt new to me, but it did. I think I was so conscious of trying to hit that upper playfield and sort of get that going. Okay, let's have another go.
No way. Do you see those lights?
I've got it set up on exactly the same pitch, by the way. I probably should have said that before. Oh my words. It's such a quick game. That was up on the upper flipper then. Just back in the Overlord. I'm going to watch that Overlord character to see what happens. It seems to have a magnet underneath it. I'm not sure if the Pro has a magnet underneath it. I don't actually know. I've never really noticed. Maybe it doesn't. Let's go with New York. It's my favourite one. It's such a feisty game, this is. Okay, a little bit there. Whoa, that was flying, that. Yeah, I'm not sure my one's got a magnet in it. The Pro's got a magnet in it. Whoa, it's such a fast game. It's funny, actually. I think mine seems to have slowed down just in the past month. So I completed New York. Look at it, look at it. So the Overlord himself is not actually doing anything, but there is a magnet on there. is interesting. It's not a bad little upper playfield, actually. It doesn't feel like a gimmick. You can hit the shots. Don't get me wrong. It's not on the same level as Halloween's upper playfields, which are sort of proper pinball shots and three levels. But it's not too bad. It's not. Some upper playfields can be a bit gimmicky. It doesn't feel gimmicky. I like that. I do like that. Oh, wow. So fast. So fast. What just happened there is why I don't like Stranger Things. Whenever I play Stranger Things, it does that all the time. You hit a shebang and it's hit a target, which are either side of the ramps, and it just throws it back. It doesn't happen on this game very much, but I find it quite tedious on Stranger Things. I know it's a good game. I know it's got the same setup and the same shots as Attack from Mars, and you know, it's a typical Brian Eddy game in that sense. But yeah, what just happened there is what happens all the time to me on Stranger Things. Where are we? Okay, got to hit some white arrows now. What did I do? But oh, that's it. I didn't manage to finish New Orleans, did I? Okay, so you can carry on the mode. That's interesting. That was interesting. So actually, it gave me a qualifying shot up on upper playfield for the mode. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Which was really interesting, actually. But so I seem to get a second shot on there, but there wasn't a third one up there. So that there is some purpose to the upper playfield. Oh dear. Go on, go on, go on. This is the skill shot. Yes. There is another one better than that as well, though. Which is it actually if you let the skill shot go into the out lane. Whoa. Oh, this wants to go down the middle. Oh, I forgot. Oh. Don't you dare. I know what it wants to do. Damn it. So, there you have it. Gameplay on both. We've had a look at the cabinet. I guess it's now just down to what I think about each game. The games are incredibly similar, as you would expect. I just guess it comes down to, is this one worth the additional cost? And I mean, that's an easy thing for me to say. It's not my money at the end of the day. You have to decide what you want to spend yourself. I think I could live without the Overlords on there. Look, these one-piece plastics that you get on the Pro do look cheap. One thing I would say is when I'm playing that, am I enjoying the game more? I think it's a better game. That is a better game. The upper playfield definitely offers something. The post popping up, I like. That feels like an achievement, but it's sort of just remembering it. Brings a different aspect into the gameplay, certainly. I think given the choice, I'd take the premium. But I still think you're getting a lot of game here. I don't feel that I'm missing any shots, which I guess I am. You're missing. The upper playfield has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots on the upper playfield. So I guess you are missing, if you have the Pro, 5 shots. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I think either one, you're getting a good game. It's hard to say. I mean, particularly we talk about the Pinside Top 100 quite a lot on this channel, because obviously I'm doing my own Top 50, which hopefully you'll have tuned into and seen. And at the moment, as I record this video, I think Foo Fighters is number 3 in the Pinside Top 100. Now, whether it will stay there, I don't know. It was at number 2 the other day, then Cactus Canyon jumped up to number 2. These things seem to... They seem to be a little bit fluid. Godzilla's been at the top for, I think, the best part of a year, and I think it will probably stay there. But if I'm looking at some of the more recent Stern releases, I think this is going to stay there or thereabouts, because I do think it's better than a James Bond. I think it's better than Rush. I think without going through every sort of Spike 2 game in my mind, it's there. It's a real contender, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes for me, because I think, I mean, I've got Godzilla. Godzilla just behind the camera over there, which is just about to go out on rent, actually. Godzilla has a deeper game. That's also, I have the premium of Godzilla, so it has all the wonderful toys, the collapsing building, the bridge, the Mecha Godzilla. It's a very, very good game, but sometimes Godzilla can feel daunting. There's so much going on with it. And also with Godzilla, you've got the case where that is fully modded. I've got everything on there. I've got Davey Stumblaw's wonderful Tokyo Neon sign, the UFO Pulse stuff, the Jazz Boosh, who's obviously done the Atomic Godzilla on it. There's so much going on there, which really sort of has improved the game. And we are just dealing with base models here, but I suspect that the Foo Fighters is probably going to stick around in and around the top 10, the Pinside Top 100 for quite some time. And rightly so. I do think it's a really good game. There's no toys on this, just none. But it does have the physical ball lock. I'm talking about the Pro here. Obviously, it does have its toys. This looks a little bit more full. I think what I'll be doing is I should hopefully be getting a Scooby-Doo in soon. I'll do a direct comparison with Foo Fighters and Scooby-Doo and see what I think's best. Is the premium better than the Pro? Absolutely, but so it should be. It's more expensive. If you get the Pro, will you be disappointed? I don't think you will. There's a lot of flow on it, and one thing I have noticed is this is playing quickly, but when I got this Pro, it was playing just as quickly as that one. So I think after a while it does sort of bed in a little bit. Maybe the playfield just gets a little bit more dirty. It just slows up a little bit. So I think I prefer how this one plays at the moment. 2 great games. Whichever one you get, I think you're going to be really happy with. Stern have done a really good game here, and irrespective of what Stern's next game is, I think this one's going to stand the test of time. It's almost like a hybrid between Deadpool and Godzilla in many respects, and that's no bad thing. 6 modes, 2 mini wizard modes, 1 main wizard mode is enough to get your head around it. And even just in the 2 games that I've demonstrated here, you'll have seen me achieving some of the modes. So even somebody of my playing ability, it doesn't feel like the end of the game is unachievable. Whereas actually, funny enough, I play something like Godzilla, I will never get to the end in Godzilla. It is far and above beyond my capabilities as a player. Absolutely. I guess I could stick it on 6 ball or whatever, and I may get there eventually, but that would be a very, very long game. I I think this game is probably more suited to my needs. And even though obviously Dead Flip, Jack Danger is a very, very good pinball player. If anyone that's seen him on a stream will attest to that. I think Godzilla's been made by an expert, by a world-class pinball player, and it shows. I think you need to be that player to fully explore Godzilla. With this one, I think this is pitched just right. I've been up and down with this. I've yo-yoed a little bit with this game. But the more I play it, the more I like it. And most importantly, this game does have that one more game factor. I do always want to press start again, which is exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm blessed with choice. Thank you very much, Pinball Heaven, because I don't know which one I'm going to press start now. I do believe Pinball Heaven actually have 2 premiums still in stock now. You can still back order the Pro if that's what you would like. As I was sorry, I just lost my train of thought earlier. I was going to say whatever Stern bring out next, I'd be very surprised if they release a better game than Foo Fighters.